Howdy. Today's presentation is the morality of teabagging. When is it appropriate to teabag? Is it ever appropriate? If you teabag without justification, should you perhaps unalive yourself? All these important questions will be answered and tackled in today's lesson. So, briefly, what is teabagging? It is the application of the sack of man and placing said sack upon he who has been conquered by you. You are asserting your dominance. Now, should you always be teabagging? When is it appropriate to teabag? Well, first we must establish that teabagging is not a right. You have no right to teabag. It is a privilege. You earn the privilege to drape your balls upon his face who is dead and dying. You have to earn it. If you overuse it, it dilutes the value, the importance of the teabag. If everyone could teabag, and if everyone did teabag, whenever it happened, it would not matter. It would lose its integrity. So please recognize the most important lesson to take from this lecture is that teabagging is not a right. Teabagging is a privilege earned by action. So what circumstances allow you, earn you the privilege to drape upon your jewels, upon the face of those you have conquered? One example is if you are in a 2v1, assuming that you are the singular man, you versus the world, the 1v2, the 1v3, the 1v4, the 1v5. I do not care. One man conquering the enemy team. One person, one creature conquering the enemy all by their lonesome. You have earned the privilege to teabag. I want you to unzip your pantaloonies, remove your undies, and place upon the face of your fallen foes your sack of power. Because within your sack is a more virile, more pungent and potent sperm that should be shown and felt by those who you've conquered, so that they know that the future of humanity is secured by your superior seed. And by destroying them, you have guaranteed the strengthening of humanity. It is simple eugenics, okay? Don't forget that. Now, inferior beings will teabag without justification. They assume it is simply a right. They have a right to teabag only because they secured the kill. They ignore the context that supports the privilege to enact such a sacred act. You have not gained the privilege to teabag. Simply take your win with grace. Do not shame yourself and your offspring and your family. Do not shame them with your unsanctioned teabag. You have not earned it. You and your buddy ganged up on one other person. The expectation is that you should always win a 2 versus 1. It is your expectation, and by meeting that expectation, you have not gained the privilege to drape your balls upon your enemy's face. And if you have done this, feel shame, feel saddened by your inappropriate abuse of such a sacred tradition. But simply take it as an opportunity to grow. People make mistakes, and it is now your opportunity to recognize that mistake and now to grow. There are circumstances where teabagging is just always appropriate. An example is when you are reviving your fallen comrade. Your comrade is fallen. He's dying. His guts are spilled out. He's bleeding all over the floor. He's mashing whatever button it is to beg for a revive. Let this be battlefield. Let this be hunt showdown. It matters not. While reviving your homie, feel free to sexually harass him, because sexual harassment is always hilarious, especially when done to sort of strangers that are on your team. Feel free to drape upon them your balls while you revive them from the brink of death. They owe you their life. And so it is funny to be hilarious. Also, there is a particular circumstance where teabagging has a quote-unquote victimless crime, but it is not. The example I refer to is a game like Tarkov. If you kill someone in Tarkov, they do not see the aftermath. They do not see the abuse done to their body. And then you teabag that guy. You may think that that teabag is victimless. The guy doesn't know he's getting teabagged, so what's the harm? The victim doesn't know they're being victimized, therefore making them not a victim. Ignorance is bliss. The victim, though, is the one committing the act. The committer of the teabag is harming themselves by showing that they have no integrity, that they have no shame, that they're abusing the privilege that is earned. So please, if not to help others, make others feel at peace, do not hurt yourself by abusing the sacred, holy act of teabagging. Now, in a situation where you are the guy getting bullied by two other players, and those two others gang up on you and teabag you, and you can respond, your sole purpose in life now has to be to punish that abuse. And every time you get your revenge, you must establish a teabag. You have to. If you do not, you are allowing this poor behavior to go unchecked. It has to be policed by the people. There is no greater power to protect the glorious teabag etiquette. It has to be policed by the people. So when you get taken advantage of, disgraced by some gang of goons who drape upon you their balls, you must enact revenge and assert your superiority. I don't care if the match is lost because you were off on some side quest to get revenge. It matters not. You have to get that revenge. Ultimately, the most important lesson to take from this lecture: teabagging is not a right. It is a privilege. You earn that privilege. That is the conclusion of today's lecture. You have been dismissed.